Hi! This is a new type of video that I kind of really haven't done before, which will be about movies and TV shows and musicals and other things. I've tried my hardest to come up with a title for this and I really can't think of anything. So if after watching this video you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Today we have 2 musicals, 2 movies, 1 TV show, and 1 game. First of all, I went to see Wicked with a couple of friends. I had never seen Wicked before. I had also never seen The Wizard of Oz before, so I think I was missing some information, but Lex and Rosanna were quizzing me, and I think I knew most of the basics, at least enough to understand the musical. Because I'd never seen The Wizard of Oz before, I don't really have a connection with the story or the setting or any of the characters. The only thing that I knew about Wicked is the Defying Gravity song because of Glee. So Wicked is kind of the untold story of the witches in Oz. And if you have never heard about this before, this might do the trick. One of the characters, the Wicked Witch of the West, is green. So there were some things about the show that I liked and some things that I didn't. I think there were some songs that I just couldn't really get into, and I think especially in the beginning I thought it was a bit slow. The costume design, however, was absolutely fantastic. Like every single costume was amazing. Also the bit where we finally get to hear Defying Gravity was wonderful. I think by the end of it I was really into it, but it did take me about like half an hour to 45 minutes. Thought it had some great songs. There were definitely songs that afterwards I still remembered even though I hadn't heard them before. In the end, I'm not a massive fan of it, but I did really enjoy it. Then I went to see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I got free tickets to go see and review it because the show has been running for a year now. And this is a story that I really enjoyed as a kid. I read the book several times. I've seen both of the movie adaptations, so I think my expectations for this were quite high. Of course, I bought a Wonka chocolate bar to eat during the show. I think the highlight for me was definitely all the kids that won the golden tickets. Augustus Gloop and his mom were fantastic. Veruca Salt was also great. At some point they walked through the audience and she definitely gave me the stink eye. It's kind of a musical where you're waiting for them to get to the factory and that takes a really long time, so I think in the beginning it was just dragging on a bit. And I was expecting to recognize more songs. They did the Imagination song in the glass elevator, which looked really nice. Also made me realize how similar a lot of it is to Doctor Who. They had a really kind of inventive way of doing the Oompa Loompas by kind of like the minions from Despicable Me, like stacking them on top of each other. So it would be one person playing 2 Oompa Loompas. Also there were giant dancing squirrels. I think overall there were a lot of songs that I wasn't really into, and even though the set was really beautiful, I can't say that I absolutely loved it. I went with Lena, who I think really loved it, but for me that's kind of in the middle. Then I got tickets to go to an advanced screening of The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of the Window and Disappeared. I have not read that book. I have it on my Kindle because I bought it for like a 25p deal. I went with Marion, who stole my Kindle and read the book before we went. And I think I was really pleasantly surprised by this movie. I didn't really know anything about it except for the title, which does tell you quite a lot. First of all, I didn't realize it was going to be in Swedish with English subtitles, which I think was really cool. It was really funny, it was really colorful, and it reminded me a lot of Forrest Gump. Because a 100-year-old man, when he tells a story about his life, he just constantly meets all these famous people from history, and in meeting them, he kind of changes history here and there. So yeah, that one I would definitely recommend if you have read the book or not. It doesn't really matter. Actually, I'm not that inclined to read the book after seeing the movie because I kind of enjoyed it as a separate thing. But yeah, I really liked it. And then I went to see Begin Again with Mark Ruffalo and Keira Knightley. I actually got to go to another advanced screening where the actors were there doing a Q&A before the movie started, which means I was in the same room as Keira Knightley, which I thought was quite exciting. This is a story of a girl who goes to New York with her boyfriend who's about to become a really famous singer, and as she is there, she realizes that he has cheated on her and they break up, and now she's just kind of in New York, not really sure why she's there, and she's kind of forced to go to an open mic night by one of her friends and plays one of her songs, and she's about to head back to England when a guy who used to own a record label but got fired that same day sees her and he wants to produce her music. To kind of prove that she's this great new talent, they decide to record an album in New York outside and just go and do that on their own. Went in with not a lot of expectations, but I really enjoyed it. I really liked all the songs. Keira Knightley sings in it. It has so much New York in it. It's kind of funny, it's kind of lighthearted, it's kind of sad. I also checked out the soundtrack and I wish they would have had the original mixing with the like New York background noises in it. Unfortunately, they do not, but I definitely think it's worth a listen. So yes, Begin Again I would also highly recommend. Okay, so then for TV show that I've been watching, you guys might have already heard about this. It is Orphan Black. The second season just ended and it's so great, and I just want to tell everyone about it so they can start watching it as well. So it's about this woman who's like a semi-criminal, and as she arrives in a city by train, she's walking along the platform and she sees a woman. The woman takes off her shoes, puts down her bag, and jumps in front of a train. And the moment that she does that, they look each other in the eye and she realizes that this woman looks identical to her. Not really knowing what to do with this, she takes the opportunity to grab the bag and goes through all of her belongings, figures out that she has a bank account with a lot of money, and since they look identical, she thinks she can just, you know, take advantage of that and take the money. And to do this, she kind of has to adapt to this woman's life, and this is only the beginning. I don't want to give away too much. All I will say is that there was one actress playing a lot of different roles, and she is absolutely brilliant at it. It's a really funny show, it's really exciting. They have an official Tumblr for the show as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, go watch Orphan Black. And finally, I have a game for the iPhone. Now, I don't really play games on my iPhone, but I found screenshots of this on Tumblr and just thought it looked so cool. I paid, I think, £3 for this, but it was definitely worth it. It is called Monument Valley, and it is loading right now. And it's kind of based on those Escher sketches where it's like you're walking up the stairs, and by doing that you're kind of walking in a triangle, the optical illusion of one thing fading into the other. And so you have this little princess who is walking through all these different sorts of castles and contraptions, and by twisting the buildings around, other pathways connect to each other. The music is really cool. It's not too difficult, but it's just difficult enough. And those were all the things I wanted to share with you guys. I will put kind of links and information about everything in the description. If you've seen any of these things, let me know what you thought. And yeah, if you can come up with a title suggestion for these kinds of videos, let me know in the comments as well. And I'll talk to you guys later. Doei!